Hello, it's time for Combat Patrol Carnage. We're back with issue 40 for the final time. We're going to name our Terminators and then we're going to take them into battle. We also have a brand new mission for us to look at. So a nice one that's going to be interesting to play. Forward outpost. So 2 objectives in no man's land, 1 in each command zone. And yeah, you get a chance to sabotage your enemy comms, forcing them to not be able to use the command reroll stratagem, providing you control their objective. So it's pretty cool if you've got a unit like Terminators that can deep strike right on top of it. So we won't be playing that sadly until at least issue 42 when we add our new paints, and there's not a lot in the issue for us to go through. But by then we also have another couple of missions for us to play through, so hopefully we'll be able to play some full Combat Patrol games very soon. What I might do is do a Combat Patrol game 1 week with the Chaos versus the Aeldari as a standard patrol, and then as the next week we'll do the swapped out units so we have a little bit of variety and see how the Combat Patrols face off against each other. I'll probably not bother with faction abilities as we don't have the rules for Chaos Space Marines just yet, although we do have the data card of course. But as I'm working through the magazine and doing things as it tells us, I won't be using any rules until we're told to use them by the magazine itself. Hopefully it should be next delivery, which is a special delivery as we're marking the halfway point for the collection as we get issues 43, 44, 45 and 46. It's going to be a very orc focused delivery, 2 sets of orc boys, 2 sets of paints. So yeah, we know 1 paint is going to be all about basing, so I'm looking forward to that one. And yeah, 2 sets of orc boys and another paint issue besides that. So long-winded introduction, but before we get into anything, don't forget to, of course, do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and drop me a comment down below. Let me know if you've tried out your Terminators in combat and have they claimed any heads in the name of Khorne or any of the other Chaos Gods. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They stock everything you need, from models, paints, and hobby supplies, all the way to decorative artwork, pin badges, collector coins, and anything else besides. Check them out, there's a link for their website in the video description as usual, and of course there's their physical store. Right, let's head to the table, we'll read our new mission, see how good that looks, and then we'll try these Terminators out as they come to the aid of a already weakened Chaos Space Marine force. Here we are then, back with issue 40 for the final time, and it's time to name the champion of our Terminator squad and find out what his squad is called. Then we're going to have a look at a brand new Combat Patrol mission which we'll be utilising in a future video. And we also have a scenario in which we get to try these guys out along with some of the other Chaos Space Marine models against an Aeldari host. So I've got issue 33 here for the naming charts, my pen, my dice and my paper. So we'll adjust the camera and we'll dive right on in. So back into the issue we go, past our paint guide. And here we are at the naming chart. So as usual, put our piece of paper on the underside to protect the next page. And we've got our dice and pen at hand. First, we'll learn a little bit about Terminators, or Chaos Terminators in this instance. Clad in ancient and corrupted tactical dreadnought armor, Chaos Space Marine Terminators are some of the most resilient and powerful warriors on the battlefield. They each have immense strength and they can wield devastatingly powerful ranged weapons with ease or engage in close combat with brutal efficiency. So, right, first off we need to find the name of our unit leader. So our aspiring champion is going to be 1, followed by 4, Zariel. Ooh, that's nice. So Zariel, and his unit's epithet is, ooh, a 1 again. Followed by 4 again, so Zariel Slaughterborn, okay. Okay, that's going to be a very interesting title for them. And I've just moved my dice away. We've got one last thing to roll. Are we going to get another one? We are. Is this dice weighted? No. But yeah, one. Okay, so this unit of Chaos Terminators will stand in enemy fire, letting the rounds ricochet off their thick ceramite armor before slaughtering them in close combat, most likely. So yeah, okay, I think that's very fitting, and I think these might even end up becoming corn marked for the Black Legion in perhaps future issues of the collection if we get that far. So yeah, very cornate theming sort of unit there, pretty cool. One thing I did forget to mention was I have made a mistake when it came to painting. I totally forgot to do all the little spikes around the headdresses there. I'll probably do that on my own time and touch up any other missed areas. So there we have it. Right, finally then, we've built our Terminators, we've painted our Terminators, and in just a bit we're going to be playing with them. So we'll tick all of those off, and then we can take a look at their data record. So over the page we can take a look at their data sheet. So this is the final data sheet for your Chaos Space Marine Combat Patrol. The data sheet contains all the information needed to use your Chaos Terminators in games of Combat Patrol. File this safely away with your other ones for use in games and scenarios in this and future issues. So we've got a Chaos Terminator Squad. They are Movement 5, Toughness 5, 2+ save, 3 wounds, 6+ leadership, and an objective control of 1. So ranged weapons, they have combi bolters, which are rapid fire 2 weapons with 24-inch range, so 4 shots at 12 inches. Hits on 3, strength 4, 1 damage. And you have the Reaper autocannon, which has devastating wounds and sustained hits 1, so 4 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 7, -1. So that devastating wounds and the sustained hits is going to make it a pretty dangerous weapon. So if you get quite a lot of 6s, you could easily go up to, well, 8 attacks from that weapon. It should be pretty painful for most light infantry. Melee weapons then, we have the Accursed Weapon of Champion, which is 4 attacks, hits on a 3, strength 5, -2 AP, but only 1 damage. The Chain Fist is an anti-vehicle 3+ weapon, which will come in handy when we start getting vehicles in later combat patrols. Has 3 attacks, hits on a 4, it's strength 8, -2 and 2 damage. And the Power Fist is the same, 3 attacks, hits a little bit better, but I remember when all Power Fists and Chain Fists and Thunder Hammers all used to hit on a 4+. Kind of want to see a return to that, but I do like to see the Power Fists are a little bit more better hitting, as they are more solid blunt objects, whereas a Chain Fist you're going to be carving with it really, so it's not exactly the easiest thing to hit with. Again, strength 8, -2 and 2 damage. So they have the Dark Pax faction ability, belong to the Heretic Astartes faction. They are Infantry, Chaos, Terminator, and Chaos Terminator Squad. And to use this in games of Combat Patrol, where you're using the Chaos Space Marine Dark Zealots, you may, before selecting your enhancement, remove the Havocs from your army and replace them with the Terminator Squad. And we got, again, down here, a reminder that you can do this in any games of Combat Patrol, providing your opponent agrees. So yeah, if you want to take this down to your local club in a Combat Patrol sort of setting, try it out, yeah, why not? Moving on, we got a brand new Combat Patrol mission. This one is Forward Outpost. Our observation post has spotted a similar enemy station within striking distance, likely filled with comm augurs that we can sabotage. Take a small force under the cover of darkness and disable the outpost, but beware, the enemy have likely spotted us in return. So mission rule, we can sabotage enemy comms. At the end of each player's turn, if the player whose turn it is controls the objective marker in their opponent's deployment zone, then until the end of the battle, their opponents cannot use the command reroll stratagem. So yeah, controlling your opponent's objective is going to definitely hinder them. So not being able to use command reroll until they take back control of their objective. So for the board, we have 1 objective in each deployment zone along the center line, and we also have 1 objective along the halfway line in no man's land, on the 2 objectives rather on the center line, 8 inches from the center of the battlefield. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting mission. So our primary objective then, The most vital ground in the region is currently in the hands of the enemy. Draw your battle plans and destroy all who stand between you and your prize. At the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores victory points as following to a maximum of 15. For each objective marker that the player controls that is in no man's land, they score 5, and if that player is controlling the objective marker in their opponent's deployment zone, they score 10. Finally, in the 5th battle round, the player who has the first turn scores as normal, but the player who goes second will score at the end of the turn instead of the end of the command phase. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually playing this mission, and I'll probably be doing it when we hit our paint issue, as we don't have, I think, any particular mission in that issue. So yeah, it'll be nice to try it out. Our next issue is, spoilers, is the Orc War Boss, so we'll be trying out him in a mission. So over the page we have forward outposts and our usual tick off chart to say who has faced who in the mission. So yeah, I photocopied this and stuck it to some card and wrapped it in laminating sheet so I can tick it off and wipe it off if need be for future use. Moving on though, we have our scenario for the issue. It's a rather straightforward scenario. So this is Chaotic Ambush, which we kind of knew, as they made a mistake last issue by having Chaotic Ambush as the Aeldari's title. So an Aeldari scouting patrol hurries to a location of a crashed Aeldari ship that holds vital intelligence. There, they find themselves facing a smaller detachment of Chaos Space Marines. The Aeldari are confident in their superior numbers, but all is not as it seems. To play Chaotic Ambush, set up the battlefield as shown below, then follow the deployment instructions. The Aeldari player takes 5 Wraith Guard, 10 Guardian Defenders with a heavy weapon platform, and a Farseer. The Chaos Space Marine player takes 10 Legionnaires, 5 Chaos Terminators, and 1 Dark Apostle with 2 Dark Disciples. Deployment. The Chaos Space Marine player places their units in their deployment zone. The Aeldari player sets up their units in their deployment zone. Each player then selects a terrain piece and places it in the terrain area that is farthest from their own deployment zone. During the Chaos Space Marine player's second command phase, the Chaos Terminators are deployed in their deployment zone. How to win. At the end of each player's command phase, they score victory points as follows. If they control one or more objective markers, they score 5 points. If they control more objective markers than their opponent, they score an additional 5 points. The player with the highest number of victory points at the end of the 5th battle round is the winner. If both players have an equal number of victory points, the battle is a draw. For a reminder on rules and controlling objectives, see B Basics 8. So our battle area is using maps 1 and 2. We're going short edge to short edge. We have 2 areas of terrain, we have our deployment zones, and 3 objectives down the centre. So yeah, a fairly simple battle, and we are learning kind of how strategic reserves will work after the rules in our previous issue. So the Terminators are going to be deployed later on as the battle progresses. So over the pages are victory conditions. So I'm off to set up the battlefield, and we'll have ourselves a little bit of a skirmish. So here we are then, set up ready for issue 40's battle. And as you can see, I've got a new terrain piece. So I've made myself a crater, kind of. It's more of a slightly multi-layered hole in the ground, basically, which I guess is what a crater is, but it's not nearly as deep as a crater should be. I think it suffices for the purposes of the game. So made very easily. Bit of hardboard, some cork matting which I chopped up and then left a flat rim where the tarmac is, some stones and texture paste, and then some skulls for added flair. So yeah, that is going to be part of our terrain for this battle. And we are deployed. So to maximise chances of scoring all our objectives, I've not attached any units in either force. I've got the Wraith Guard, the 10 Guardians and the Farseer here, 10 Chaos Space Marines and our Apostle back here for added protection. Terminators are off the side, ready to come in. And as it doesn't mention who goes first, we'll do the good old roll-offs. So, make sure this is on camera. First turn, Aeldari go with a 5-3. This could be over before it even starts. So, no faction abilities, but we are playing command points, so we'll gain one of those each, and we'll begin Aeldari turn 1. So, Guardians can move their 7, which will get them just within the 3 to score that objective. And we'll even get a couple of guys into cover. Our Farseer will move 7 towards the cover. And our Wraithguard are only 6. They'll move towards the objective down here. Shooting phase then. So we'll open up with our Wraith guns, which are 18 inches, and only the front. Only just in, actually. I should have deployed the Chaos Space Marines. 3 shots though, it's not the best. So hitting on 4s. 1 in, 2 out, that's helpful. 2 out of 3 hits, that's not too bad. 2s to kill a Chaos Space Marine. And only the 1 is through, so that is a single Chaos Space Marine slain, and we'll kill off a bolter dude. The Farseer will do, let's see, 24-inch for Eldritch Storms, and definitely in for that. D6 shots, only the 1. Yeah, I'm going to command reroll that, see if I can get more shots. I don't. So still 1 shot, hitting on 3. It hits, wounding on 3s. It does. -2 to the Chaos Space Marine save, so 3 down to a 5. He does not make, and it is D3 damage. He could survive. Oop. Try another dice. That one's on the floor, and he does die. It's 2 damage, and we'll kill off another Bolter Marine. They're good at range, but when things get up close, their combat weapons aren't quite cutting it, whereas chainsaws do. We've got, yeah, we're in range of the Star Cannon, 36, 2 shots. And seeing as he doesn't have Lone Operative, we can target the Dark Apostle over there. 2 hits. And 2s. That's 2 wounds. -2. So, no, -3. Okay, so it's down to his 4th invuln, which he makes both, so that's fine. And the Guardians will put their 20 shuriken shots into those Chaos Space Marines, hitting on 3s. And wounding on 4, strength 4, tough 4. That's quite a few. 4, 8, 10. Wow, half of them. So 10 4-up saves. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So no one's wounded. So we just need to survive, basically. I'm going to command reroll because I can't use it for much else. Let's try and get one more save. No, we can't. So it's still 4 fails. so that's another 2 dead. It'll be a bolter guy and another bolter guy. Oh dear. Luckily we're not below half yet, and that is all the Aeldari can do. So we don't actually score points at the start of the turn, because it's in command phase we actually score points. So it's over to the Chaos Space Marine's turn. So first up, command points all over. And we're going to move our Chaos Space Marines as best we can into the crater. And our Dark Apostle he'll go off this way. So 6 of his first disciple goes there. He'll go there, and second disciple will go there. Shooting, right, we're going to split our shots. Heavy bolter into the Guardians, melter gun into, we'll try and kill off the Farseer. And no, not in range for pistols anywhere really. Okay, so it's just going to be heavy bolter. We move, so these will hit on 4s. They do have sustained, which we don't get, but 2 hits, strength 6, so double the Guardians, so 2s. Why can't we have had that on the hit roll? 2 6s. So -1 from the heavy bolter, I believe. Yes, -1. So 5 up armor for the Guardians, made 1 and failed 1. So our first Guardian is down. We've got a melter gun going at the Farseer, which hits, and 2s. It hits and wounds. 2 5s, nice. 4 up cover set, armor set, invulnerable save even. And he makes it, he's fine. So nothing's going either way really. And there's no charges to make. And I don't think anyone on the Chaos side, nope, is in range of objectives. And we've only got 1 guy just in range for the Aeldari. So with that, it's into turn 2. So, command points again. We didn't need to spend any last time, luckily. So we both have 2. And the Aeldari will score 5 points for controlling an objective, and 5 points for controlling more than the opponent, for a total of 10. Again, I put it on the Farseer's card. And that's how we score in it. Yeah. 5 for controlling 1 or 2 objectives, and another 5 for controlling more than the opponents. And we're on to movement. So our Wraithguard will move forward. Our Guardians will not move their full move, but they will put themselves more on the objective. And we'll keep a couple in cover. Do that for coherency. Our Farseer will go forward and control that center objective. Right, shooting phase. We now have all 5 Wraithguard in range. So, do we hit? Only a 2. I will use a command. I can't use command rerolls on Wraithguard because they're Wraith constructs. So, 2s to wound a Chaos Space Marine. Ooh, that's a 1. And 1 goes through. So, -4 would give them no save, but we do have benefit of cover. So we are on a 6+ save. Ooh. Chances are slim, but the Chaos Gods love me. Yeah, it's well worth a point. Woo! Saved. Well, that would have been D6 plus 1 damage, which should just be a single Marine dead. Alright, the Farseer will unleash Eldritch Storm against the Dark Apostle this time. Ooh, I want that in the tray, please. I do. Nice. 6 shots of Eldritch Storm. 4, 5, 6. Hits on freeze. I keep forgetting about Fortune. Put it on the Guardians, because the Constructs is tough enough as it is. Wounding on freeze. 4, not too bad. A -2. So we'll do 4 pin Von on a Disciple. Gone. 4 pin Von on another Disciple. Saved. Saved. And saved. You're the good boy of this group. So he's tanked it for his master. Then we got the Star Cannon going into the Dark Disciple. 2 shots hitting on freeze, wounding on 2s. Double wound. 4 invuln again. Made one, failed one. That's fine, we just lose our last Disciple. And then 20 shots going into the Chaos Space Marines again. Nope, sorry, we've lost one, so 18 shots going into the Chaos Space Marines. Oh, they haven't done as well this time. They've missed of about half. And that was a success before knocked it over into a 2. And 4s. Ouch, only the 3 wounds this time. AP 1, so it is no minuses because we are in cover. So 3 up armor saves. And we still fail one, so we'll kill off one of these dudes back here. Well, it should be a guy in cover, so we'll kill him off, but it's that guy in instead. That's back. It's the same. That's all the Aeldari can do. They have a comfortable lead, and it's now time for the Terminators to arrive. So, it doesn't mention how they're deployed. So, it just says that they are deployed in the deployment zone. So, we'll say that they are deploying within 6 inches of a board edge, which just so happens to be that board edge over there. So, as it was deployed in the command phase, they can move. So they'll move their 5, which puts them to there. Off my bolter, you. We'll move the Chaos Space Marines more into the cover, which does put them... He should be right on that corner there, so he is within 3. Chaos Space Marines have an objective control of 2, but they have... yeah, 3 Wraith Guard to only 1 Chaos Space Marine, so not going to be too good there. And we're going to go, I think, for a leader off in the center there. So let's see how good these Terminators actually are. Oh, I've got command points each. And we score 0 victory points because we have no objectives at the time of our command phase. So, let's see how these Terminators do. We'll go with the Reaper autocannon first. 4 shots. Hitting on freeze on the Guardians. No sustained, and 1 miss by dice. Strength 7, so it's 2s. That's 3 wounds at -1. We have got Guardians in cover, so we'll take it on those first, which means it is just their 4-up save. And that's 3 dead Guardians in cover. Yeah, everyone's in 12, so we get 4 shots each, so 4 4s, 16. So there we go. Hitting on freeze. Wounding on freeze. 2 didn't wound, so 2, 4, 6, 7 go through. AP nothing. We do have 2 guys, technically. Seeing as the line doesn't draw over cover with those guys, which didn't really with the autocannon, but I did anyway. Yeah, I'll still do it. 1 guy on a free up. Oh, for the love of dice. On a free up, saved. Another guy on a free up, saved. Another guy on a free up, save. That's 3 gone, 4 left to go. Free ups, and the last 2 in cover are toast. We've got a pistol shot from our Dark Apostle at the Farseer. Hits. And wounds. 4 up in Vol. No. Our Farseer has took a wound. Oh, no, command reroll, come on. Yeah, worth it. He has not taken a wound. Don't forget hit in head in combat. Finally then, Chaos Space Marines will shoot everything at the Reef Guard. Melter Gun. I haven't used command reroll for myself this phase. That was the Aeldari. It hits with the Melter Gun. And Strength 8, Toughness 6, Wounding on Freeze. Wounding on Freeze. It wounds. Melter Gun is -3. Nope, -4. My mistake. So 4, 2 up save down to a 6 up save. Nope. D6 damage, we need 3, please. And I can't reroll. I get the 3, nice. 1 dead Wraith Guard. We have a heavy bolter, we move, so hits on 4s. Only once. Strength 5, toughness 6, wounding on 5s. It wounds. -1, so 3 up armor save. Not made. Heavy bolters are damaged too. That's 2 wounds on a Wraith Guard. We will do our 2 bolt pistols. First, both hit. We need those again. No, we don't. It's only higher, so 5s. Well, we got the 1. Minus nothing this time. Oop. Could still fail on a 1. I had to say that, didn't I? And I've already used command reroll this phase, so that is a 2nd Wraith Guard down. And finally then, Plasma Pistol from the champion. Let's overcharge. It just misses and doesn't kill me, luckily, so that's fine. That's it. On 2 charges. So Terminators need a 5. Dark Apostle needs a 7, and the Chaos Space Marines need a 5. Terminators first. Let's get this on camera because these are important. Terminators are in with a 10. Dark Apostle, he's in with an 8. Chaos Space Marines are in with a 9. They'll go like that and then pile in. And this is where the game ends. Right, we'll do, well, all the charging units first. So, Chaos Terminators. We've got 4 attacks with the accursed weapon on the champion. Hits on freeze. Missing 1, wounding on freeze. Wounding twice. And -2, so 6 up. Guardian armor. No, 2 damage each. That's enough just to kill a single Guardian. We then have 3 Power Fists for 3 attacks each. Hitting on freeze. And killing on 2s. Yeah. Nothing those Guardians can do will save them against the Power Fists. And we will consolidate just to get onto that objective. Next up, the Apostle. 5 attacks with his Crozius on the Farseer, hitting on 2s. No, I'll let that slide because I got enough damage to wipe him out. Wounding on 2s. That's everything. 4 up invulns. Ouch. I'm going to have to command reroll one of those because otherwise my Farseer is gone. And that's still a fail. Yeah, only 4 wounds. That's 2 damage a pop. Farseer gone. Can the Chaos Space Marines take down the Wraith Guard? With the 2+ save, not likely. But we can try. We'll start off with the Champion's Accursed Weapon. 4 attacks, hitting on freeze. Wounding on 5s because we are lower. Just a 1. -2, so 4 up armor. Made. We have 1 Astartes Chainsword, 2 Astartes Chainsword for 4 attacks each. These hit on freeze. And wound on 5. Strength 4, toughness 6. 2. And -1, so 2 free up saves. Ooh, 1 goes through for 1 damage. And then we've got 2 close combat weapons for 3 attacks each. Hitting on freeze. Wounding on 5s. 3, not bad. And minus nothing, so 2 up armor. We fail 1, putting another wound on our wounded Wraith Guard. And with that, it's the Aeldari's turn to fight back. So we get 3 attacks with our close combat weapons. If I can get the dice out the box, I mean just leave them on the side. So 9 attacks going in, hitting on freeze. No 4s because of Wraith Guard. Wounding on freeze because they're strength 5, tough 4. Ugh, still dropped 2. 3 up on the saves. Made them all. And that's the end of turn 2, and the Aeldari are gonna, concede. The Chaos have the full control of the board. They can easily abandon the top objective of the Terminators to come down and kill off the Wraith Guard. The Apostle will go to the top objective to hold that, then the Terminators can consolidate towards the center objective. All in all, it's going to be a Chaos victory. Poor match putting the Chaos Space Marines against the Wraith Guard though, but yeah, we'll see these guys perform a little bit better, hopefully, in fuller games of Combat Patrol. So, right, let's head back to the magazine and we'll give our Chaos victory speech. So there we go, that was the battle for issue 40, and went a little better than I was expecting. I was expecting near enough full wipeout of the Chaos Space Marines before the Terminators even arrived. But luckily the Wraith Guard were just out of range, and they didn't get as much firepower as they'd hoped. If they didn't have to move forward to control the objective, I probably would have sat back with them a bit more and kept out of combat. But even in combat, these guys are pretty fierce, with 3 strength 5 attacks going in. Could pose a threat to some Chaos Space Marines, even with power armor. There's a chance that they'll fail, at least. But yeah, it's nice seeing the Terminators come in. They just butchered those poor Guardians. And yeah, it really shows that these guys can be the hammer blow that Chaos Space Marines really do need. So, as I said, we have a Chaos victory on our hands. So to the back of the magazine we go. Chaos Space Marine victory. The Chaos Space Marines dominate the battlefield, holding the Aeldari at bay and denying them their intelligence. Now, the Aeldari will have to retreat with nothing or else send more of their few troops into danger. So yeah, it's a kind of a do we or don't we sort of scenario. Do we risk sending in more of our troops to gather data of the crashed craft, or do we just sacrifice it to the Chaos forces? I think in this instance it's going to be a sacrifice that needs to be made. The Aeldari can't risk the troops falling to Chaos hands. But yeah, there we have it. That is our battle. And now let's take a look at what's in our next combat patrol. Well, we start a new combat patrol as issue 41 brings us the Orc Warboss in Mega Armor. So we learn about the Orcs, we learn about Slaanesh, we get to build and paint our awesome new model, and a model I've never actually painted or built before, so it's going to be a bit of an interesting journey for me. We also get a brand new gaming mat with this issue, our first one for our new battlefield. So we're going to have 3 unique battlefields, as this mat is double-sided with a toxic wasteland mechanicum area on one side and a deserty sort of imperial ruins landscape on the other, which is pretty cool. And then in our next issue, issue 42, we get 2 new paints. Coelia Greenshade, which is the only one we're using in the issue. It's only going to be used on like 4 different models. The Farseer, some small details on that, is going to be painted with this shade. The Orc Warboss, the Psychophage, and the Barb Gaunts are getting shaded with this. Calgar Blue we're not going to see yet, but it will probably be used, well, we know it's going to be used on our Chaos Space Marines and our Ultramarines for edge highlighting, once we learn that in a future issue. So yeah, we also learn about the different technologies of the 41st millennium, and we learn all about the power of the War. So there we go, some really exciting issues to come. And yeah, after that we are going into 2 issues of Orc Boys and 2 new paint issues. So we know one is going to be a basing issue. So 44, I believe, is a paint. We get our texture spreader, texture paint, and Dawnstone, so we can dry brush over the bases once we have painted them. And then we have another paint issue which we don't know of yet, as it hasn't been revealed. But yeah, looking forward to that, and 2 units of Orc Boys to add to our Orc Combat Patrol. So that's all there is to say for issue 40. Up next, interestingly, is going to be a review. So we're going to take a look back at this past 20 issues, our 2 new combat patrols, and everything we've received since, well, the last time we did one of these, which was 20 issues ago, funnily enough. So yeah, it's been interesting. We've got 2 new combat patrols now, the Aeldari and the Chaos Space Marines, and we can have many battles now going forward. And I'm looking forward to starting the Orc Combat Patrol. Besides the Jeff Dredd, everything we're getting is brand new models, so it's nothing I've actually worked on before, which will be quite interesting for me. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to more Carnage as we continue this adventure. So all that's left for me to do then is say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time on more Combat Patrol Carnage. Goodbye.